One thing before I start this episode is that this series as a whole is a full spoiler series, which means I will ruin the episode that I'm talking about. I will ruin the episode where the show currently is. So if you have not caught up, and if you are watching this as a review of this episode, as if I've just watched it for the first time, no, this is my second time viewing. So yes, welcome to Riverdale Retrospective. Welcome to Riverdale Retrospective Chapter 2, Touch of Evil. That's it. It took me a minute to figure out. Yeah, this episode, okay, one thing I will say about this episode is, it definitely is, this is where the horror roots started. If you look in Season 2, you'll see that there are loads of episodes that are pure horror inspired. They're some of my favourite scenes. Like, there have been scenes that have almost saved bad episodes. Like, I say almost, that musical episode, it was awful. But my favourite scene from that was the one where Cheryl went full on Carrie. And I love sorry about that, I accidentally cut the recording. I love it when Riverdale does that. It uses horror. It works quite a lot of the time. Sometimes towards the newer episodes, it's been a little bit, like, I say towards newer episodes, like, there was one episode where Archie got kidnapped, and they sort of played, like, typical slasher horror sort of style, and I didn't like that, because I always thought Riverdale played better on the type of horror that 10 Cloverfield Lane plays on, whereas, like, the humans are what's scary. Humans are the biggest monsters, and that is what I love. I love that when horror does that. The Shining is one of my favourite sort of examples of that. The Shining, the first 10 minutes of Mama, and what was the other bit? The one I was just talking about, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Is some of my favourite horror. Because it's also not experimented with that much. Like, no one really wants to be like, yes, I've made a horror film where the humans are the monsters. No, you always want to show an interesting monster or something paranormal. I love the idea of building horror and suspense with that. And yes, you could say it's more of a thriller, but I like to consider it straight up horror because humans can be scary. Like, when you don't know what someone's going to do, it's fear for me. And I love it, and this episode definitely starts to show that. Another thing that this episode shows is that the writers wanted to set the show apart but in different ways now than it did, or then than it did now. There's now, like, nowadays, Riverdale's about serial killer, a mayoral, I don't know that word, the mayor's election. That is about so much more. It's about, like, Archie being a gangster, pretty much. Wow. Like, it's got riots, like, gangs. It's so much more. But these first 2 episodes have sort of been like, yeah, this is a typical teen romance with the murder thing hooked on. And, like, yeah, it doesn't. The horror is one of the things that sets it apart. And one thing that does set it apart in the early episodes is how much they use films. Like, there's a character, right, Reggie, played by the same guy who plays one of the 13 Reasons Why. I think the first one, I can't remember what his name is, the character or the actor, but Reggie, he makes 2 film references in, like, the first, like, in a scene we see with him, and one of them, like Suicide Squad, I get it. I get why he would make a Suicide Squad reference, because he's the type of target on for Suicide Squad, but he calls Jughead Donnie Darko. He's like, he goes to Archie, oh, what, did you and Donnie Darko kill Jason? And it's something that I'm like, would he really watch Donnie Darko? Like, I get it why Veronica would make film references. I get it why Betty might make film references. Cheryl, especially Veronica and Cheryl, they're like so similar, and I actually love it. They are 2 of the saving graces in the bad episodes. Like, I love Cheryl and Veronica's dialogue. Cheryl's, like, upholds as well in the rest of the season. I love that. But it's just, this episode isn't that great. Like, if this show, first of all, hadn't got the high reputation that if everyone wasn't talking about it at school, I'd probably watch these first 2 episodes and be like, maybe I'll carry on. I wouldn't have been as committed, but yeah, this show is like that's looking back on it. That as the quality of the episode is not amazing, but I like how they start to do the horror here, and yeah, it's pretty much my retrospective opinions on Chapter 2, Touch of Evil. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.